Bands who go unnoticed by the scene they're in are nothing particularly exciting, as a majority of the music in the world would fall into this category simply due to being inadequate. But when a truly great band just doesn't get the spotlight they should have, I find that to be extremely tragic. Few bands have ever really met this mark for me, especially in my highly cultured nation, Australia, where it seems like every band from the last 15 years and up to today still hasn't moved past the Tame Impala millennial Instagram filter era. But one band I think that broke the mold and completely went against the streamlined sound of the era was a small, nearly unknown group of Sydney residents called Disgusting People. A greatly fun, raw and original band who were either years behind or years ahead in their sound and style. But why has nobody heard of them? Well, let's get into it. Disgusting People rose out of the Sydney neighbourhood of Ashfield at some point in the early 2010s. Not much information is out there about the members, but it seems the group was at least at one point made up of Nathan, Matt, Craig, Sam, Pickles and Sam M, and seemingly led by our main figure in this story, Pete Delahiri. But to be honest, beyond this basic information, I can't really find out much about them. But it seems this small group of friends came together over a great passion for the strange side of music, or what some may call outside of music. This culminated in the existence of the band's debut and only album, the self-titled masterpiece that is Disgusting People. Disgusting People released their self-titled debut on October 10th, 2014, on both cassette and on streaming platforms, a primordial soup of indie wonders, and a lo-fi joy for the lonely and troubled that retains a charm and a style that I haven't ever felt or seen from anyone else. It is all a bit an outsider's record, having both instances of great tomfoolery, but also a bittersweet relatability and a sound of nostalgia for a world that we, not even the band themselves, lived in. This is an art in and of itself that only a few truly special artists can claim they have succeeded at. Highlights of the album in my humble opinion include Wash Me Lagosa, I Wanna Control Alt Delete My Life, Oregon, and one very, very special song. Ba 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 ba. Between Mothering and Murdering is one of those songs that just has such a special something about it that I can't really put my finger on. Maybe it's because it was the first song I heard by the band, but to this day it remains my favourite song by them and is the band's magnum opus, if I don't mind myself saying so. A poetic, nostalgic, lo-fi anthem that breaks down the doors with its thundering drums and weaves its way into your psyche with its gorgeous melodies. Unfortunately, I cannot understand 90% of the lyrics of this song due to the vocals being so buried in the mix of this already lo-fi track that you might as well be listening to an Einstürzende Bleep song. I guess the whole point of this video is to ask a simple question. If they were so good, why didn't they make more? Where did they go? What happened to Disgusting People? Well, we may have the answer to that question. In a Facebook post from January 2019, our main figure, Pete Delahiri, explains it all. Delahiri states that he had been struggling with a long season of depression over the span of half a decade, seemingly putting the band on hold. It doesn't specifically state this, but I would likely assume this would be the main contributing factor of the band's disappearance. In the same post, he explains the fates of the other members of Disgusting People, claiming that several of them left Sydney, while some left the country entirely. Nathan Roach became an underground music star in France and exclusively plays music festivals in China. I am not making this up, it quite literally says this in the post. Matt and Craig went on to form their own band called Weak Boys, and made several albums under that name until fleeing Sydney. Sam played for a few bands called Shrapnel, Satchet, and Day Ravies. Pickles went on to play in ADKOB, which I believe is this band, and Sam M became a major lighting director for a bunch of Disney films. He also mentions a guy called Clinton at the end of the post, and that he's an unemployed librarian, and like I said, I couldn't find much information about these people, and there's seemingly no mention of him anywhere else, and is not in the band's music video for I Wanna Control Alt Delete My Life. Pete also started another band called Dick Pics that apparently get booked a lot because of their name. So does this spell the end for disgusting people? Well, that I cannot say with certainty, but if the band ever were to reunite, it likely would not be with the same incarnation as back in 2014, due to the more than interesting paths of the former members. So exactly what is the point I'm trying to make? Maybe this isn't as much of an essay, as much as it is a nod to one of my favourite bands, a band that were never appreciated enough during their run, and seemed doomed to never see stardom. I think I just want people to see what I see, and give a really great and unique band at least some platform. The self-titled album did not particularly see the only released Disgusting People material, as in 2019 an unreleased song called Shellfish was released. The most recent activity from this band was in 2022 when a song called Wisdom of Wilson was released exclusively on SoundCloud. However, beyond this, there seems to be no word from this band. Will they ever come back? I hope so. And that is the story of Australia's most underrated band.